In a world painted with the deep blues of twilight lived a tiny turtle named Terra. Her shell was the color of moss after a gentle rain, and her eyes held the curiosity of 1,000 sunrises. Every day, Terra would explore the whispering meadows near her cozy burrow, but she always made sure to be home before the moon began its nightly climb. One afternoon, however, Terra discovered a patch of the sweetest, juiciest berries she had ever tasted. One led to another and another, until she was so lost in her feast that she didn't notice the shadows growing long around her. When she finally looked up, the familiar path was gone, swallowed by the encroaching night. A shiver of fear ran down her spine. The world she knew so well had transformed into a maze of dark, looming shapes. Terra called out, her small voice trembling. "Hello? Is anyone there?" But only the rustle of leaves answered. Tears welled in her eyes, blurring the strange new world even more. She felt so small, so utterly alone. Tucking her head into her shell, she wished with all her might that she were back in her warm burrow, safe and sound. Just as she was about to give up hope, a soft, gentle light flickered beside her. It pulsed with a warm, golden glow. Terra peeked out of her shell and saw a tiny, shimmering point of light, no bigger than a dewdrop, hovering in the air. It wasn't a firefly. It felt different. It felt like a tiny piece of the night sky had come down to meet her. "Don't be afraid, little one," a voice whispered, as soft as the breeze. The light danced, and another appeared, then another, until Terra was surrounded by a swirling constellation of what she could only describe as star spirits. They glowed with a comforting, golden light, casting soft shadows on the ground. Who are you?" Terra stammered, mesmerized. "We are the helpers of the night," the first star spirit replied. "We guide those who are lost. We can show you the way home, but the path is not a straight one. It is a path of the heart." Terra didn't quite understand, but she was just so grateful not to be alone anymore. "You'll help me? Really?" "We will," another star spirit chimed in. "But first, you must help others. Your journey home begins with kindness." The star spirits began to float ahead, creating a gentle, glowing trail. Terra, full of renewed hope, scrambled to follow them. Her own fears seemed to shrink in the warm light of her new friends. They led her through a thicket of ferns, where they stopped near a fallen log. Huddled beneath it was a tiny field mouse, shivering not from cold, but from fright. "I can't find my family," the mouse squeaked, its whiskers twitching nervously. "A big shadow swooped down, and I got separated from them." Terra looked at the scared little mouse, and her heart ached. She remembered the fear she had just felt. Without a second thought, she said, "Don't worry, my friends and I will help you." The star spirits swirled, casting their light wider, illuminating the area. Terra, with her low-to-the-ground view, soon spotted a trail of tiny footprints leading towards a large oak tree. "Look!" she exclaimed. "Your family must be over there!" Terra and the star spirits guided the mouse to the base of the oak, where a joyful reunion took place. As the mouse scurried into the safety of its family's nest, it turned and squeaked, "Thank you! Thank you!" As Terra turned to continue her journey, she noticed something amazing. A faint, golden light was now glowing from within her own shell. It was soft, but it was definitely there. The star spirits danced around her, their own light seeming to shine a little brighter. "You see," one whispered, "when you share your light with others, your own light grows." They traveled on. Their next stop was by a moonlit pond. A beautiful dragonfly was caught in a strong spider's web near the water's edge, its delicate wings tangled and stuck. It struggled, but its efforts only trapped it further. "Please," the dragonfly buzzed weakly, "I must get free before morning." Terra looked at the sticky web. It seemed impossible. But then she remembered the star spirit's words. She couldn't just walk away. Carefully, she used her sturdy beak to snip at the thick strands of the web, one by one. The star spirits hovered close, their combined light giving her the visibility she needed to work without harming the dragonfly's fragile wings. It took time and patience, but finally, the last strand snapped. The dragonfly carefully pulled itself free. It circled Terra's head once in a graceful loop. "You saved me," It hummed, "I will never forget your kindness." Tara watched it fly away, its wings catching the moonlight. She looked down at her shell and gasped. The light radiating from it was stronger now, a steady, warm glow that pushed back the darkness around her. She no longer needed the star spirits to light her every step. She was carrying her own lantern. The star spirits swirled in delight. "Your heart is bright, Tara," a spirit said. "Now, there is one last soul who needs you before your own path becomes clear." They led her to the edge of the meadow, where a young fawn stood alone, looking lost and confused. The fawn was quietly crying, its big, dark eyes filled with sadness. "I was playing hide and seek with my mother," it explained softly, "but I wandered too far. And now I can't hear her calling." Tara's heart went out to the little fawn. She remembered the feeling of being lost, the desperate wish for a familiar face. She walked right up to the fawn and gently nudged its leg. "It's okay," she said, her voice full of a confidence she didn't have before. "We'll find her. We just have to listen." She asked the star spirits to be very quiet. Tara closed her eyes and focused, listening past the chirping crickets and the rustling leaves. And then she heard a faint, gentle call, carried on the wind from the other side of the meadow. "That's her. That's my mother!" The fawn cried joyfully. Together, they followed the sound. With Tara's glowing shell and the fawn's keen hearing, they quickly found the mother deer waiting anxiously by a stream. The reunion was beautiful to watch. As the fawn and its mother disappeared into the woods, Tara turned to thank her glowing friends. But as she did, she saw that her own light was now shining as brightly as any of theirs. It lit up the ground all around her, and in its golden glow, she saw something wonderfully familiar. There, just a few feet away, was the smooth, worn stone that marked the entrance to her very own burrow. She was home. The star spirits gathered around her one last time, their lights pulsing in a happy rhythm. "You found the way, Tara," one of them said. "Remember this journey. When we help others find their way, we always find our own. You are never truly alone when you carry kindness in your heart." Tara looked at her glowing shell, then back at her new friends. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I will never forget." She watched as the star spirits slowly floated upwards, rising higher and higher until they blended in with the countless other stars in the vast, beautiful night sky. Tara took one last look at the heavens, then happily scurried into her cozy burrow. Her shell continued to emit a soft, gentle glow, a warm reminder of her adventure and the lessons she had learned. From that night on, Tara the turtle was never afraid of the dark again, for she knew that the brightest light of all is the one that comes from within. Thank you so much for joining us for Tara's story. We hope it reminds you that a little bit of kindness can light up the darkest of nights. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more heartwarming adventures. Until next time, keep shining.